Episode 1 of Recoding the Mindset, Break the Pattern. What if the biggest influence shaping your life isn't your circumstances, but the quiet voice inside your mind, the one that speaks to you all day long? From the moment you wake up in the morning until the moment you fall asleep at night, that voice is narrating your life. It tells you what things mean. It explains what happened. It predicts what might happen next. And most of the time, you don't even notice it. The thoughts simply appear, and because they sound familiar, they feel like truth. You might hear yourself thinking, I need to do this, or why does this always happen to me? Or maybe, I cannot figure this out. These phrases seem harmless, almost invisible. But they carry more power than most people realize, because every word you repeat becomes an instruction to your nervous system. Those instructions shape your emotions, your reactions, and eventually the reality you believe you're living inside of. But here's something important to understand. Those thoughts are not necessarily truth. They are patterns. Patterns formed from past experiences, emotional conditioning, and years of repetition. The mind runs these patterns automatically, which means most people are not consciously choosing their thoughts. They are simply repeating programs that were written long ago. Real transformation begins the moment you become aware of that pattern. Before the mind can be rewired, it must first be observed. And that observation begins with something simple, yet incredibly powerful: the pause. The pause is where freedom lives. When a thought appears in your mind, or a phrase leaves your mouth, pause for just a moment. Don't judge the thought. Do not criticize it. Just notice it. That small moment interrupts the automatic loop between stimulus and reaction. Suddenly, there is space, and inside that space, you regain authorship. Imagine your mind saying, I failed. Now pause and observe the statement. Instead of allowing it to run unchecked, introduce a new instruction. Ask yourself, what did I learn? The event may be the same, but the direction of the mind changes entirely. One thought reinforces limitation, while the other opens the door to growth. Your subconscious mind listens carefully to the language you repeat. Every phrase becomes an instruction, and repetition becomes programming. That's why awareness is so powerful. The moment you begin listening to your internal language, you begin rewriting the code that shapes your reality. So today, begin noticing the phrases that appear most often in your thoughts. When you hear I cannot, pause and gently introduce I'm learning. When you hear I have to, replace it with I choose to. There is no need to force belief right away. Simply introduce the new instruction and allow repetition to begin its work. Because repetition creates familiarity, and familiarity builds new wiring in the mind. Awareness is where the recoding begins. But once you recognize the pattern, the next step becomes clear. You must decide what pattern will replace it. In the next episode, we explore how the words you choose determine whether your mind operates from limitation or possibility, and how a simple shift in language can begin transforming the way you experience your life.